Hi folks, just here to help you hopefully motorize your Hunter Douglas Pirouette blinds. My blinds are the new ones that were built after 2016. What you're looking at here is the R28 RTS by Somfy. This is a new motor which came out in about 2016. The parts are obviously the motor. Here you have the power cable. And this is the antenna. This part here is actually the original crown, okay? And I've had to purchase a new crown which fits right over the original crown like so. And on the other end is the drive. Now, I've already put this together. When you buy the motor, you will only see the steel end, which you can see beneath between the crack. You have to purchase an original drive and then purchase a drive that fits on top of the drive, the original drive, and screw it in so it doesn't pop off. And of course, you're just going to screw the original drive in here. Now, you are going to call everyone, Somfy and a million other places, and no one will have the drive designed specifically for the 2016 and newer Pirouettes by Hunter Douglas. The only place I could source them out is a company in Florida called ReelLift. That's ReelLift.com, and I'll put that on the video. These people are absolutely phenomenal. They're great customer service. They'll walk you through the entire process, and they'll tell you every single piece of material that you'll need to do this installation, including the original drive, the new drive, these little screws that you absolutely need, as well as the new crown, okay? You can actually buy the drives, the motors, the remotes, and all the pieces necessary. Here I am with the Hunter Douglas Pirouette 2016. As you can see, Pirouette's Hunter Douglas went to an end cap, which just pops off actually. All you have to do is lift it up and it pops right off. Beneath that you'll see the clear end cap and the old clutch mechanism, whether it's, well, this one is the Hunter Douglas Ultra Glide, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these two Robertson screws. This cap will come off, this end cap, and it'll actually have the clutch attached to the end cap. And you have to be very careful when you're pulling off this end cap that you don't pull the tube within a tube out, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. Okay, so I've removed the screws. I've put a little black arrow pointing downward so I know the direction which the cords were, because that's the direction of the wire and antenna. Okay, and now I'm going to remove the end cap, and you're going to see what I mean by a tube within a tube. I kind of lucked out, but you could see the tube, and if I were to pull the clutch out quickly, that inner tube would actually pop out, and you do not want that to happen. In fact, you do not want the shade to come off the other end cap, otherwise it'll screw up the lift mechanism, so be very careful. Now, what you do from this point is you're going to slide the drive into the tube. So you've got to make sure your blind is at least the length of the motor, which I believe is around 12 inches. So if your blind is 12 inches or longer, or you can look it up, you'll be fine. I had no issues. But what I found is that the drive that I have by ReelLift is just a little bit big. So what I've been doing is using a Dremel with a rotating belt sander to just remove a bit of the circumference of the drive on the motor. And I'm going to go do that now. So it's still a little too big, so I'll go out and take a bit more off. So once you removed enough plastic, you'll see that the motor slides right inside. Okay, so I'm going to push the whole motor, making sure that the crown also lines up with the notches. The crown lines up with the notches, you'll see that the motor end fits very flush. And now what I'm going to do is remove the existing clutch from the clear end cap by taking off this bolt. And then you're going to have to drill two holes which will line up with two corresponding holes on the motor to prevent the motor from rotating freely, okay? So I'm going to do that next. So once you remove the original Hunter Douglas clutch, you can see that the middle portion fits nicely into the motor end. And as you can see, that black arrow that I put on there before acts as a reference and lines up with the reset switch. So now that I've got that in there, I'm going to mark where the screws have to be placed, which are the two openings at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock on this video. Marked it, so when I remove the end cap, you will see that there's two black dots, and that's where I'm going to drill two 9/32 holes, and I'm actually going to use a recessed drill bit so that the screws fit flush with the plastic. Here's the end cap. I've now drilled those two holes. You can see I've recessed the holes a bit, and they are going to, you'll see if I put this right here, they now line up with those two holes, and these are going to be secured with these two little screws, which are supplied by reallift.com. They're a perfect screw, so order all the parts they tell you to order, so you don't have to run around looking for parts. Key part, I'm now putting the end cap back on, the arrow pointing down, and this is where you have to be very careful to line up the end cap back into the casing, and then I'll secure everything with screws. I'll show you the finished product. Took my time. I got the plastic end cap on the motor and back into the casing. Once again, the end cap is secured with the small little Robertson screws, and the Phillips screws will be used to secure the end cap to the motor. I'll show you that finished product. Okay, so there's the 4 screws in, and now just put the end cap on and reinstall the battery wand, which is a piece of cake, and you've done it. So this is really an easy do-it-yourselfer. I think if you're even a little bit handy, you can do this at home with the help of this video and reallift.com. Here's the completed project, Pirouettes with Somfy motors.